What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Michigan Airsoft Tour, where I'm visiting and reviewing every airsoft field in Michigan and scoring each one across 10 categories for a total score out of 100. Today we're talking about Cedar Airsoft, located near Cedar Springs, Michigan. This is a field that I've played at multiple times now, and each time I've been there, I've walked away having a pretty decent time. Cedar has a strong community, fun gameplay, and a field that clearly sees some improvement over time. But like every field in this series, there's going to be some criticisms too, some points that need improvement. So let's break it down now to each category, honestly, and get into the scores. Category number 1, field layout and design. For this category, they're getting 8 out of 10 on this one. Overall, the field flows pretty well. There are a good number of buildings spread throughout the property, and the layout gives you a solid mix of open areas and some also like wooded sections and some brush with more cover, if you like woods play. That variety helps support different gameplay styles, and whether you like pushing through structures, holding angles, or moving through the trees, there's something for you at this field. I also like that when the field is split into two sides, it usually doesn't feel too much like one side has a massive advantage over the other side. One side might have more wooded cover while the other side might have more buildings. So each side has its own strengths and its own weaknesses in different areas, but it mostly balances out. It's definitely not the most elite layout that I've played, but it works, it flows, and it keeps the games interesting. Moving on to point number 2, structure and cover quality. For structure and cover quality, Cedar is going to get a 7 out of 10 here. A lot of the structures here are made from recycled materials, older wood, vehicles, vehicle parts, other reused building materials, and honestly, that's pretty typical for an airsoft field. I wouldn't say most of the structures are top tier or super polished, but they are functional and they do the job. The big positive here is that Cedar seems to continuously work on the field, especially over the last couple years. I've seen improvements to the field overall. I've seen some new structures, updates to some of the older ones, and fixes in areas that become problematic. That matters a lot because it shows that they're actively trying to improve the player experience over time. So while the cover quality is mostly average or more on the average side than the amazing side, it's still playable and it's being worked on regularly. Category number 3, gameplay experience. For gameplay experience, I'm giving Cedar 8 out of 10 on this one. Overall, I've had a lot of fun every time that I've played there. I don't think that I've ever left Cedar feeling like I had an especially bad day or just a totally bad day. One thing that I really appreciate is that they try new game modes pretty regularly. A lot of times when I've gone, they've been experimenting with something new. And while not every time these game modes work out and they're not always a home run, I do respect the fact that they're willing to try fresh ideas and keep introducing new things to the roster of game modes, because sometimes they are really good and they stick around. So now the flip side of this, the biggest thing that's holding this category back is downtime. I've had multiple visits to this field where the downtime and the waits between games felt way too long. Sometimes even around a half an hour, and I would say there's probably been a couple times where it's been more than that. That can really slow down the rhythm of the day. If they could tighten up the turnaround time and keep games moving at a more consistent pace, this category could easily jump up to something closer to a 9. Moving on to number 4, staff and ref quality. And for staff and ref quality, they are getting yet another 7 out of 10 in this category. The staff that they have, they know what they're doing. They understand the field, they understand the game, they understand the rules. I've never personally seen anything get completely out of hand here. Staff presence is noticeable during games, and they seem capable of handling situations quickly whenever needed. My biggest criticism is not really about the quality of the staff, but the quantity. Cedar can get a lot of players on any given rec day. I'm talking 50 plus. And I really think that they would benefit from having at least one, if not two additional staff members helping to move things along on most of these days. Extra hands could help with chrono, organizing teams, answering questions, getting players ready, and reducing downtime in between games, most importantly. Just keeping things moving along. The staff that they have are good, but I just think that the overall experience would improve a ton if there were more of them there, just helping the experience overall. Point number 5, important, value for the money. I'm giving them an 8 out of 10 on this one because overall I feel that Cedar gives you a good day of airsoft for the price. I think that I've always had fun when I've gone, even though sometimes we've had those big downtime waits, when we're playing the games are fun. I don't usually leave with many complaints outside of the downtime, so I think that they're doing pretty well in this category. If the downtime between games can be reduced, this could probably be a 9 for me at least. But even with that issue, Cedar still offers really strong overall value. Now, moving on to safety and rules. I'm giving them a 7 out of 10. For the safety and rules, they do a decent job with a lot of the important safety basics, but there are a couple things that I've noticed on more than one occasion that could use some tighter enforcement. The two biggest issues for me are barrel bags in the staging area and shooting in the staging area. Those are the kinds of things that really need to stay locked down because even small safety slips can become a serious problem, and it only takes one to really make a bad situation for this field. And as far as the rules go, I think that most of the time, at least for all the basic and returning game modes, they do a good job of explaining the rules. However, with some of the game modes that are more complicated or the newer, more experimental game modes, I think that the rules can get a little convoluted. I've seen a couple occasions where there are multiple players that aren't fully sure what's going on. Overall, it's not bad, but safety enforcement and staging needs to be a little bit sharper. Point number 7 is community and sportsmanship. And in this category, they're getting a solid 9 out of 10. This is actually one of Cedar's strongest categories. I've played here multiple times and I've rarely had any big issues with hit calling or poor sportsmanship. Of course, little moments happen everywhere and that's just airsoft, but I can't think of any huge memorable issues that have ever made an impact on a negative impact on my day there. The community is really what makes Cedar stand out, to be honest. You can tell that this field has a loyal group of regulars who show up consistently, rain or shine. People know each other at the field, people are friendly, and there's a strong sense that the players here have helped make this field what it is. If you're looking for a field where you can become part of a regular community, meet new players, join chats like Discord, and see familiar faces every weekend, Cedar is absolutely that kind of field. On to point number 8, amenities and facilities. And for this category, I'm giving them a 9 out of 10 here as well. One of the best things that they offer is the lunch and drink option. Honestly, it's convenient, and being able to get pizza, Gatorade, and snacks during the day is a big plus. And the last time that I had the pizza there, it was honestly pretty good, which I definitely appreciate, coming from a food background in my regular day job. The pizza was pretty good. I don't know if it's always the same place, but last time I got it, solid pie. They also have a small shop with surprisingly solid selection. They usually have all the basics covered, like BBs, gas, grenades, mags, even gear, uniform, vests, and usually a pretty good selection of some airsoft guns. For a small field shop, they do a pretty good job at keeping players supplied. The main thing that I'd like to see improved is HPA fills, and this is the only thing for me holding them back from a 10 in this category. I know that they've recently added or had on and off some kind of an HPA fill setup, but from the most recent time that I've been there, it may not be quite on par with what other fields are offering. I think with those bigger player counts and more HPA coming out to the field every weekend, it's going to be pretty important. And one final note is they do have a porta potty there, so the bathroom option isn't glamorous by any means, but it's there and it's available. I think with how many players show up on a regular basis, having a second one probably wouldn't hurt, but I can't knock that category because it's available. For category 9, media friendliness, they're pulling a 10 out of 10 here as well. As a content creator, this is a great field to film at. It's outdoors, so you get all that beautiful, great natural lighting. It's got a good variety of areas to capture. You've got the woods, the buildings, the open spaces, different types of engagements depending on the different game modes where the action moves. So there's a good variety of things to capture as well. There also isn't a bunch of copyrighted music blasting. I know I say the copyright music thing in every review, but it's actually super important. Or, you know, when you're trying to make YouTube videos, and you don't have to fight the copyrighted music in the audio in the background in post-production. It's really, really nice, honestly. So whether you're filming gameplay, cinematic shots, reviews, or just trying to capture a fun day of airsoft, Cedar gives you a lot to work with visually. And for content creators, it's definitely one of their stronger categories. And last but not least, we have category 10, replay value and X factor. They're getting a 9 out of 10 in this category as well. For the replay value and X factor, the X factor is their community, honestly, plain and simple. The people who play here are really woven into the identity of the field. Cedar has that for the players kind of feeling, and you can tell that the regulars are a huge part of why this place has been as successful as it is. As far as replay value goes, it's strong. The games are fun, the field keeps improving, and the community makes you want to come back most of the time. If you go to Cedar and you have a good time, there's a pretty good chance that you'll want to return. The main things that are holding them back are the same ones that I've mentioned already earlier. The downtime between games, needing more staff on the busy days, tighter staging area, safety enforcement, and a more reliable and up to standard HPA fill setup. If they improve those areas, I think that Cedar has a real chance to climb quite a ways higher than they are even now in the future reviews that I do coming up in the next Michigan Airsoft Tour. After all 10 categories, this is a pretty good score. Honestly, it feels accurate to me, and I hope it does to you too. Cedar is a good field with a strong community, fun gameplay, good amenities, and a lot of replay value. It's not perfect. They do have some things that they could work on. But overall, the bones are strong. The community is strong, and most of the times that I've gone, I've had a good time. That counts for a lot. So there you have it. That is my full review of Cedar Airsoft as part of this Michigan Airsoft Tour. So let me know in the comments if you've ever played at Cedar before, what your experience was, and if you agree with my score. I want to hear from the regulars. I really want to know what you diehard Cedar Airsoft fans think of my review. And I also want to hear from you first-timers or your weekend warriors too that have been there 1 or 2 times. Your feedback will help me improve these reviews for the next Michigan Airsoft Tour. And make sure that you subscribe and follow along, because once every field in Michigan has been reviewed, I'm putting together an all-in-one final massive ranking video where every field is going to be definitively ranked from worst to best. If you want to see where Cedar Airsoft lands in the final ranking on this list, then stick around because the final showdown is coming soon. Thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. The next review video is coming soon, and I can't wait to see you next time.